Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
'87 Sports Fans Live. It is the NFL Hour. Keith Grieve and Steve Taylor from 87sportsfans.com now are joined by Jim Saranteas, the Fantasy Greek himself from thefantasygreek.com. Jim, welcome back to the program.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. You're very fortunate that I was able to make the show on time. I've spent a good part of my day shoveling and dealing and battling with Mother Nature. It was not pleasant here in Chicago. In fact, I would say it was pretty goddamn awful. But nonetheless, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly rainbows and unicorns over here either.
Well, yeah, that's what Steve was saying during your break, and
it was enough.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
It was enough to actually drive my wife to give me the permission to go buy a snowblower.
Oh yeah, I was complaining about
one.
the one I had. I'm like, we need a bigger one.
Yeah, no, we haven't purchased one yet because by the time we got to Lowe's today, all the middle of the road models were sold, and all they had were like the Cadillacs.
Buy a Cadillac. I'm telling you, don't. This is one thing you just shouldn't chintz on. I mean, if you're gonna blow snow, blow it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, Jim, I defer to you for all the tips about blowing. So.
Put a smile on the face of the snowflakes, I say.
Oh, my God.
Make Jack Frost go cross-eyed.
Sort of like the smile on the face of the Patriots
right,
got yesterday. Huh?
Exactly. So, Jim,
I got a gift that just kept on giving right there at the end.
Yeah. Jim, I got Steve's opinion at the beginning of the show. Would you have given it to Marshawn?
Absolutely. I was sitting there quietly with my family saying, oh, they're giving it to beast mode. They're giving it to beast mode. And when they didn't, I was like, what are they doing? Why wouldn't you just give it to the man and have him run it in?
Yeah.
So I didn't need an analyst or anybody in the NFL Network or any place else to tell me what they should have done. And, I don't believe Pete Carroll when he says they expected it to be a wasted play. There's no way, because that pass, there was only one final result of it, a touchdown. They were at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't like he was going to catch it and suddenly be short.
Somebody put it on Twitter. There's three things that could happen when you pass the ball, and two of them are bad.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Whatever the case, it was a poor play selection. Obviously, anybody could have seen that. And, they're going to be, kicking themselves for quite a while.
Yeah. And, that's the amazing thing about football, though. Russell Wilson today has been one of the GOATs, where everyone is saying, it was a poor throw and putting him in with the decision-making. He misses that throw, he's the GOAT today. If he makes that and it's a touchdown, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. It's amazing. That one little second was the defining moment.
Wait a minute. Are they somebody saying Russell Wilson called that play?
No, but just they're saying the execution. It was poor execution on his part.
Well,
is what some folks were saying.
Well, I don't know. Whoever those folks are, they need to be quiet and just sit off to the side. Let the rest of us talk. Look, that was that route, that play was completely contingent on the timing of the wide receiver and the quarterback. Either one of them are off on it, it's not going to end well. And that's exactly what happened. Defensive player stops in, cuts off the wide receiver, actually knocks this guy silly to the ground, and intercepts the ball. Mm-hmm. So, that's what it was all about. It was a timing route, and that was it. You either got it right or you didn't, and they failed miserably on it. Big F. That would have looked ugly at practice.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like, if you're looking at it from Russell Wilson's perspective, Butler was like 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So if you're running a rub route or a slant route, whatever you want to call it, that's the coverage you want.
Yeah, I didn't think this was it wasn't a terrible call. It was just not the. I mean, Give it to Marshawn Lynch. It's a conservative play. He's just going to run it in. You don't expect the guy to fumble.
It was a terrible call because Marshawn Lynch is so good and had been running so well against the Patriots. Just got done getting 4 yards for you. Just hand it off. I don't care if you've got 11 personnel in. If you've got 3 wide and 1 tight end, give it to them. And even if you don't get it, you still got timeout. You still got a timeout to use.
Yeah. Like I said earlier. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is, like I said earlier, too, if you do want to misdirect the Patriots, bootleg Russell Wilson. You have the second best running back in that game being Russell Wilson, the quarterback of Seattle. If you want to throw off the Patriots, send Lynch to the left, bootleg Wilson to the right, and have him try to run it in himself.
Yeah. Why
they would throw it, I just don't understand why you would let the ball leave the hands of one of your players in that situation.
I don't. At the end, if they had scored, none of us would really be talking about this. But it just wasn't sort of as you're watching the game going, oh yeah, that's what I would do. You're going, I would give it to my star player to just run it right in. He was having a good game. He had over 100 yards rushing. You can't ask for more.
Yeah,
can't ask for more.
No, not at all.
Right.
So in the previous play, he ran for what, 5-6 yards?
4.
4 yards on the previous play. So it's like, it's not even like they were stopping him right up till then. 4 yards, he only needed 1 more.
And if you're going to pass the ball, you're going to, you're going to throw it to the side, not right in the middle of the field. Just for God forbid the ball gets tipped up in the air,
or intercepted at the goal line, like it was
as it happened. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was a fantastic play when Chris Matthews had that touchdown, his first touchdown grab, where he literally just jumped right at the goal line and the ball was right there. It was such poor defense on the part of the Patriots. They basically there was no press coverage, and you have to have press coverage when they're at the 12-yard line because there's just nowhere to go. And there was no way he was going to be getting help over the top based on the play, based on how everybody spread out. So you got to be up in Chris Matthews' face, and he wasn't. Now, something else I heard today, or I've occasionally heard little whispers of, that somehow Bill Belichick goaded the Seattle Seahawks into this play. And I think that has just got to be the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. There's no way he goaded that it into like, oh, here, this is how we'll force them to make this pass. The defensive back didn't know this was coming. He just made a good play on the ball.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
End of story.
I'm getting really tired of the blatant jealousy people have towards Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, where anytime they do something well, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be something that they did to cause this, instead of it just being they're good and they know what they're doing. It like the whole Deflategate and yeah, there's been all kinds of things like
yeah,
you
but
just
Steve,
said,
I can't. I would never put this on. This was not a game where I think the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl. It's not that the Patriots won it or won it outright.
No, the Seahawks, for lack of a better term, handed the game to the Patriots by not handing it to their best player in that situation.
Yeah. But right. I also, in looking at that, the Patriots did score 28 points against the best defense in the league,
Absolutely.
albeit they were injured. So I don't necessarily – I don't want to say Seattle lost this game as much as – it all comes down to just not screwing up.
I don't put that on Belichick, though. That's all Tom Brady. No. All Tom Brady.
Tom Brady was fantastic. He so deserved the MVP. He was amazing. That last drive, especially going 8 for 8. He was superb. He did make those 2 mistakes on the interceptions, but other than that, he was spot on.
Yeah, and by the way, the loss of Jeremy Lane, I think affected that fourth quarter defense more than anybody is really talking about.
Did you see that broken arm? Did you see that?
It's disgusting.
Oh, I actually have it on the fantasygreek.com right there at the top of the homepage for anybody that wants to see it. And it's not even the most disgusting view of the injury. I just was like, oh my God.
Well, that's the thing is I saw the play, but I didn't see it. Like I wasn't paying attention to his arm. But when they came back and didn't show a replay, I said to my wife, I'm like, oh, that had to have been bad. Because they didn't show one replay of the injury.
Yeah, I thought he broke his leg initially.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had anything to do with his arm.
Yeah.
And think of the amount of force his body was whipping around in midair for him to just sort of put his arm out to try and either slow himself or break his fall. And in essence, I don't know that it went through his skin, but it certainly was a broken bone that it did not line back up where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So
out of Tom Brady's 48 passes one was thrown away and one was batted down. So out of 48 aimed passes, 25 of them were to the middle to the left between 0 and 9 yards. They just nickel and dime them all day long.
Which, if you read my article for 87 Sports Fans, that's what I said the key to that game was. They needed those short passes.